Welcome to this explainer where we're going to decode the hidden and, let's be real, potentially very messy world of basement plumbing. Because honestly, nobody really thinks about their sewage ejector pump until it is literally the only thing they can think about. We're going to break down the critical anatomy of a plumbing disaster today, totally empowering you to prevent a complete system failure in your own home. So let's get into it. Here's our agenda for today. 1. The basement's unsung hero. 2. Sensory signs of trouble. 3. Mechanical warning signs. 4. Critical failure alerts. And 5. What to do next. Section 1. The basement's unsung hero. Out of sight, not out of mind. So a sewage ejector pump is exactly what it sounds like, a system designed to move wastewater from a lower level, like your basement bathroom, up to the main sewer line. It's the absolute unsung hero down there. Since gravity can't pull that wastewater up, this pump acts as the brute force to push it out. But, because this unit lives buried in a dark pit completely out of sight, problems can develop really slowly and silently over time. Knowing the warning signs, that's your only way to prevent unpleasant backups and some incredibly costly water damage. Section 2. Sensory signs of trouble. What you hear and smell. Let's talk about normal operation versus a failing pump. An occasional smooth hum, that's just the sound of your pump doing its job, nothing to worry about. But if that hum suddenly morphs into a harsh, grinding, rattling, or a really loud, aggressive buzzing noise, you've got a major mechanical red flag on your hands. That grinding is usually metal-on-metal contact from failing bearings, while rattling, well, that usually means a physical obstruction, like debris, is just violently bouncing around inside the impeller. So for phase 1, our sensory red flags are those strange grinding, rattling, or buzzing noises, foul odors or sewage smells around the pump, and potential cracked seals or escaping sewer gas. Your nose is honestly your best early warning system here. If you detect foul odors or raw sewage smells anywhere near the basement, pay attention immediately. Even if the pump looks like it's clearing water normally, those bad smells frequently point to a cracked seal. And that isn't just unpleasant. It means dangerous, toxic sewer gases like methane and hydrogen sulfide are actively escaping right into your home. Section 3. Mechanical warning signs. Changes in system behavior. Moving into phase 2, the mechanical red flags. This is when the pump starts more frequently than normal, runs longer per cycle, or just never seems to shut off completely. Look, a healthy pump only kicks on when the basin fills up to a very specific level. But if yours starts short cycling, turning on and off frantically, or if it never shuts off at all, it is mechanically struggling. You might be dealing with a stuck check valve. That means the wastewater it just pumped out is falling right back down the pipe, which forces the pump into this endless, exhausting loop that will absolutely burn out the motor eventually. You also need to consider the system failing if sinks or toilets in the affected area drain slowly, gurgle, or back up. System failure isn't always some dramatic explosion, right? Sometimes it's just a slow, agonizing loss of power. If your basement fixtures are taking forever to drain or they're making weird gurgling sounds like they're gasping for air, your system is actively failing. That slow drainage means your pump is probably choking on a clogged discharge line, or it's just losing the internal horsepower it needs to push that water up and out. Section 4. Critical failure alerts, visual and undeniable red flags. All right, phase 3. These are the critical red flags. We're talking high water levels remaining in the pit or basin, overflow risk, especially during storms or heavy use, visible leaks, water pooling or dampness around the unit, and dripping from corroded fittings that compromise the switch function. If you peer into that basin and the water level is constantly hovering near the top, your pump is losing the battle. You are literally one heavy rainstorm or one extra toilet flush away from a total overflow. And worse, if you spot pooling water or dampness around the unit, it creates this vicious cycle. The moisture corrodes the fittings, shorts out the electrical switches, and effectively blinds the system to how much water is actually in the pit until it is way too late. And please remember this quote: treat alarm or control panel warning lights and alarms as an active fault, not a nuisance. We have this terrible habit as homeowners of assuming alarms are just glitches. Do not do this. Treat every single warning light and buzzing alarm on your control panel as an active, urgent fault. Never just dismiss it. These safety mechanisms are specifically triggered by highly dangerous high water conditions, serious runtime problems, or electrical shorts that require your absolute immediate attention. Section 5. What to do next? Stopping the disaster. So you've spotted one of these signs? You hear that terrifying grinding noise? You smell escaping sewer gas? Or you walk downstairs and see water pooling around the basin? What is the absolute safest, most effective next step for you to take? Here are your steps. 1. Contact a licensed plumber or pump technician. 2. Have them check the float mechanism, discharge line, and check valve. And 3. Get the impeller condition and electrical components professionally confirmed. The time for DIY is officially over at this point. Unless you want to face full of raw sewage, put down the wrench and immediately call a licensed professional. They have the expertise to safely test those electrical components, clear the check valve, and inspect the impeller without turning your basement into a total biohazard zone. Ultimately, only a pro can confirm if the pump is completely dead or if it can still be saved. Is your basement a ticking time bomb? I want to leave you with that final thought. Is your basement hiding a disaster right beneath the floorboards? Look, don't wait for a costly, unsanitary, and entirely preventable backup to find out. Recognize these early sensory and mechanical signs, trust the diagnostic process we've outlined today, and take the necessary steps to protect your home. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and definitely stay proactive out there.